First of all, I've not been in hibernation. I've been very much around. But I think if you followed my political life and history, I don't talk very much. I prefer to do and to think and to engage. The organizations that you're seeing here, some of them have been in existence since 2008. And I've been working within the framework of NDC, particularly during campaign periods, particularly 2008 and 2012. So they're not new, and I've been working with them, engaged with them for a while to develop that grassroots capacity and grassroots initiative that has always been the foundation of NDC's existence and being. So that's really the fact of the matter. I have been quiet, but I've been very active.
So you've been very active within the NDC?
Oh, absolutely. Very quietly, though. Yeah.
But of course, I mean, within the John Dramani Mahama administration, we didn't see much of you. I mean, some say you were relegated. Was that the case?
I had no desire to be in John Mahama's administration. So there could have been no question of relegation. Absolutely not. I had no desire to hold political office all these years. Yeah.
So why this lecture today?
Today is the coming together of 13 organizations that have been active in NDC and sometimes outside NDC, mobilizing the grassroots, educating them, creating awareness, and they're coming together to form one common platform, one common organization called Organizers for Ghana, because we believe that it is time for Ghana to be addressed not from a purely partisan perspective, but from actually an objective national perspective that allows us to begin to move out and engage particularly the large independent groupings that are emerging as part of our national electoral and political system.
Is it a political movement?
Of course, absolutely. So it is a political movement.
And is it going to be a political party?
Nope, it's within the NDC. It's a grouping within the NDC, a progressive grouping within the NDC, to fight for, struggle for the maintenance and the revival and the sustainability of progressive ideas, particularly that pertain to building a true, organized, purposeful social democratic party.
Aren't you usurping the powers of the national executives of the party? Because because we know that they have begun a healing process.
Absolutely not. Every party has groupings within every party. There's a right wing within the NDC. They meet, they organize, they mobilize. There's a center, there's a left. So no problem. There's nothing, no inconsistency. If anything, this type of organizations will expand the appeal of NDC, particularly to the independents who see that there's, after all, something coming out of NDC that is national, it's not partisan, that is objective, and that is real in terms of being concerned for the uplifting and improvement of people's lives.
So you have the endorsement of the leadership of the party?
You don't need an endorsement. This is a democracy. You don't need an endorsement.
You're working in their interest. Well, and of course, they need...
Precisely. So why do you need an endorsement when you're working for somebody's interests? No, absolutely not. We don't need an endorsement.
What do you say to those who have suggested that this movement clearly is a way of declaring your candidature for the 2020 election?
Completely independent of my candidature. It will survive. It's been in existence in different forms for many years, and no candidature has been expressed. This is independent of my candidature, as I said during the speech. It is, and will survive beyond me.
Are you contesting for 2020 election?
It's an organizational matter. We will discuss it.
No, are you contesting for?
It's an organizational matter. Once it's discussed and it's decided, the whole world will know.
Are you being indecisive?
You will know. No, absolutely not. It's not my nature to be indecisive. I'm sure you know that.
Of course, I definitely need to tell the people that you're contesting.
Precisely. No, until the organization decides, as a matter of discipline, I'm not at liberty to say anything.
No, people have expressed interest in it.
Discipline is fundamental to our national progress. As a matter of discipline, until the organization decides, I cannot state what my personal preference is as to what to do.
So you are listening to what the people are saying?
I have to. What's the purpose of...
You don't have a mind of...
What's the purpose of being a politician if you don't listen to the people? What's the point of being a politician if you don't listen to the people? And you go gallivanting on your own whims, and there can be no success, there can be no empowerment, there can be no improvement in people's lives.
Do you have the passion to lead the NDC?
I have the passion for Ghana to develop and be a strong country, a well-resourced country, a country where there's fairness, there's accountability, and there's justice.
So you want to lead the NDC?
If the opportunity arises and is a decision of my organization, it will be a matter of duty.
And would you want them to endorse your candidature?
Who?
I mean, the people.
Why not? If indeed that's a decision, why not? You go not only to endorse, you go to work in partnership with the people to implement the agenda of national reconstruction and development. It's a partnership.
So you welcome the idea?
If it's a decision of my group, then it will be a duty. A duty is a duty.
Because I'm asking because I know that there are some groupings within the NDC that have clearly come out to state that they want you to lead the party, and I want to know whether you welcome their position on this one.
I am humbled by it, deeply touched, and that will be part of the consideration in the consultations that we're going to have in the next few days.
How soon should we expect?
I'm sure before the early part of September, you would have heard something to allay your concerns.
Very well. Now, you know, the NDC suffered, as many have put it, a humiliating defeat in 2020 election. In your view, I mean, when you were reading the speech, you said that there was some, and I want to quote, apostles of greed. Is that what really caused the defeat of the NDC?
I think the NDC, like all the political parties, not just NDC, but the two principal parties have really lost a fair amount of legitimacy because of the perception of corruption. Because what corruption does is basically dissipates the national wealth, and you're not able to prosecute a coherent national development agenda, and you're not able to uplift people from poverty because part of the resources that should be going to uplifting people is being diverted for private gain. So in that sense, we have all suffered for that. And it's important that we turn a new leaf and begin to reclaim the principles that are the foundation of our very existence as National Democratic Congress and as a social democratic party. As a party that believes in Ghana and believes Ghana can be a better place for the broad majority of its people.
And that is what you are bringing to the party?
That is what the NDC will bring to Ghana. It will. Renewed, relentless in the prosecution of a social agenda and an economic agenda that will make us self-reliant, will make us inclusive, and will bring prosperity. Without a prosperity that is going to be earned by sweat, hard work, and sacrifice.
But do you think Mahama caused the defeat because he was reckless in governing this country?
I really have no comments. I believe that that is a matter of the past, and I hope that we can open a new and wonderful vista for NDC and for Ghana.
Now you are seeking to contest the man who will let the NDC into defeat. Had it not been for him, the NDC would have still been in power.
It's a contest of ideas, a contest of personality. It's a contest of ideas.
So what are you going to campaign on?
Exactly what I just told you. A new renewal, a real accountability, social justice platform, but real solid thinking about the economy. None of this area, not how many wild promises you can make, but really well thought out, deeply reflected on policies that must make a change in our country.
So clearly the MPP is failing.
That's for Ghanaians and for all of us to say it is not doing as well as we expected. Let me put it that way. I expected a lot, I must be very frank, even though I'm from the opposition. Yeah, I expected. I like to be fair. I really expected a lot, but I'm very disappointed.
You're disappointed in the MPP government?
I am. Because they have some really outstanding people. Really outstanding people.
What are the key things that has...
I've just told you.
Made you? I mean, you said the seemingly corruption.
The corruption that seems to be
more specific.
Well, you know, everybody's innocent until a court of law declares that they're not. So all the allegations about NDC people and MPP people, once a court of law has decided, then of course we will know. So everybody is presumably innocent. Presumably innocent.
The past branding under the Mahama administration, indeed, it turned out that massive corruption that happened. Again,
yeah, precisely. So that is the whole point. That's why there has to be a change. We can't continue like this. We really can't. You know, we can't afford it. We can't afford Kayaye sleeping in kiosks every night. We can't afford kids having to sleep in kiosks every night, drifting to urban areas because the farmland does not pay. We can't afford people walking into national public health institutions and public employees, nurses telling them your NHIS doesn't work here. We can't afford a situation where landlords are asking for 5 years rent advance. We can't afford that. There has to be a change. And that change can only come through education, through mobilization, through the fact that everybody knows that we have a responsibility to make that change. And everybody has a responsibility to be fair. So in the end, we all walk away, if not totally satisfied, partially satisfied, because we're making progress. So it has to change. The dialogue, the political dialogue today, it's had no interest for me. We must lift it. This is not politics. This childish engagement. Our governments, like, they've been given a huge toy called the state, and they don't know what to do with it except to milk it. It's enough. It's enough.
Right, and I can see you're very passionate about the development of this country.
It has to be. Our children are in it. Your children are in it. We have a legacy to leave. I went to Francis School. I went to Francis School in 1968. How many years is that? How many years is that? 32 years plus 18. How much is that? 50 years ago. I'm pretty old. Every time I pass Magasim towards Comanton, and I see those villages on the left, same hut, same drooping straw roofs, I feel ashamed. I ask myself, so all this education, the LLMs, the LLBs, the PhDs, what does it mean for our people? It's got to change. It has to change.
Now, finally, let me pick a thought. I mean, you were talking about the fact that Kenneth Friata was quite emphatic on the challenges confronting the free SHS, and his own people tear him apart.
Yeah, because I am very worried. Because if the guy who is handling your purse, your wallet, says, guys, let's take time and spend because we don't have enough, and you're not going to listen to him and attack him simply because you're of a partisan position, I'm sorry, I cannot agree with that. At least he was honest. He was honest.
But it's
and I don't think.
Position. I mean, government.
So the government. So government position. So you're happy if government's position is dishonest? Are you happy government's position is dishonest? Sorry. Government has no right to be dishonest with Ghanaians. Face it. You have a good policy, you're having problems implementing it, listen to your people, listen to others, refashion it, recalibrate it, stagger it, and move on. Because in the end, it's our children. It's our children we're told. So if they succeed, it helps us. If they do well, NDC 2020, when it comes back in 2020, has less of a crime. Or you don't think so? All right.
And of course, your people were not really interested in the matter when the Minister of Information was tearing him apart.
Poisonous partisanship, mindless partisanship.
What were you expecting them to do?
Say, well, we said so. You should stagger it. This is how you should do it. Maybe this is how. Think about it. Offer constructive suggestions. And that will show the people that, you're thinking. You're thinking even better than MPP. You're on top of this game, and you can have solutions. But to gloat, fine. We're all here. We're all thinking together.
Mr. Goosie Tanoh, well, thank you for your time this afternoon.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Don't be fixated about this.
Thank you very much. So that has been Augustus Goosie Tanoh there. Thank you once again. Thank you once again. Thank you.
Fairy stuff. Real thought about what we're going to do to expand our productive base, qualitatively increase our capacity to add value, generate employment, generate income, generate savings, generate investment, generate expansion. These are real things, and they can be done. If Singapore, Malaysia, Brazil can do it, we can do it. After all, we were the forerunners. And it can be done. Never lose hope in Ghana, and never lose hope in the people of Ghana, and never lose hope in NDC's capacity to regenerate. It will. It will come back as a primary political force in this country. Believe me.
I see. So that drive has eroded from the NDC, as you're talking about at the moment, and then it is only Goosie Tanoh and the organized, is it Organization for Ghana, Organizing for Ghana, would, you know,
we have all become armchair complainants in this country, you and I. It's time to act for purpose, to achieve and transform our country. You can't have an agriculture that is embedded in the 18th century. You can't have a country that is denuded of all its industry. You can't have a country where almost half the people coming out of school are going to be unemployed. A certain deprivation awaits them. You can't. It's not sustainable. And we must start to think together and act together and uplift ourselves together.
See, but looking at the current nature. No, sure. I mean, if you look at the current nature of the position of the NDC, they don't really present themselves as a formidable force to, you know, contest in the 2020 election.
You will see for yourself that you have made a terrible mistake in your assessment in the next few months. You have made a terrible mistake in your assessment in the next few months. It will come back as a powerful force.
How are you going to do that?
Mobilization.
Just that?
Grassroots, of course. It is the people who are the foundation and the bedrock of any political transformation. It is not just intellectuals. They get their energy, their resource, their capacity, their will from a determined people. And Ghanaians are determined people. And they want to see a better life. And I believe that given the right leadership, they will join in that struggle. It's a struggle. It's toil, as I said in my speech. A lot of toil, a lot of hard work, a lot of sweat, but it will be done.
And you think Organizing for Ghana
is one of the instruments.
One of the instruments.
It's not the only instrument.
I see.
Yeah, one of the instruments to team up with many like-minded people, both in and outside of NDC, who would like to see a change in this country.
And you think that will position the NDC to win the election in 2020?
Why not? If NDC presents itself as inclusive, why not? Of course.
Well, people are always using your past against you, that, of course, you're not tolerant enough. And
tolerant?
Of course.
Well, when I fought for tolerance in the NDC with the National Reform Party, how can I be accused of...
I mean, they branded you as a traitor.
Well,
I mean, you betrayed the party.
I cannot betray Ghana.
Of course, you betrayed the NDC.
I can never betray Ghana. Ghana comes first, always. No party comes above Ghana. And if we're in a context where the main political parties, democratic practices, management of the national resource is sorely lacking, we must speak out, and we will speak out. And I will do it again. I will do it again if I had to. Don't make that mistake. We are men of principle. Huh? We are men of principle. It's not just money. Our life is based on what we did as young people to help Rawlings resurrect this country. Our comrades died. Our friends died. People we knew died. So what you're seeing today, as a result of the 1992 Constitution, it's a result of blood and tears and sweat. And we'd like to see the shining principles embedded in that Constitution. We'd like to see it live in the life of our nation. And it will live.
I mean, clearly you have no regret for your action.
Absolutely not. It was based on principle. It's painful. I mean, if you're part of the formation of something, it is so heartbreaking to have to leave, to see it regenerate and rebuild itself again. And I think our leaving brought a lot of democratic change into the NDC. And if they're honest, they will admit it. Very much so.
So the question is that, I mean, you left the party because you thought that the party was in a bad state. I mean, corruption, left, right, center. In fact, it had dripped the NDC at the time, I mean, some would say. And you're still coming back to this party to lead them. What has changed?
I think it's more a time of very deep reflection about where our country is going and looking at what has to be done to prevent us from a certain cataclysm that will inevitably happen. Because if you are running a system of governance and people begin to lose faith in the institutions, whether it's parliament, judiciary, the executive branch, then the next alternative is to go out of the system. All right? We believe that we fought too hard, struggled too long to let this opportunity of the Fifth Republic go. We must keep it alive, and if it means working within the framework of NDC, to present a new possibility for Ghanaians, then we must do so. Again, it's a matter of duty.
Is the NDC better now than before?
No, it isn't. But it will be. Certainly it will be.
Why is it not?
You know, decline, atrophy, is very much a function of any organization. It happens to every organization. It attacks every organization. That's why members of organizations must be constantly vigilant to make sure that what is going wrong is repaired in a timely manner. The Kwesi Botcher report says a lot about what is wrong with NDC, and it's important that as a party we are honest enough to confront those issues and begin to rebuild around the recommendations, and also to begin to rebuild some trust and confidence from within the members and also from the larger Ghanaian population. And that's the work that I have to do, other leaders have to do, other well-meaning Ghanaians have to do.
You know, finally on those whole presidential race, and if you decide...
Very fixated with this president.
Yeah, of course, I mean, because people would want to know what you want to offer the party. So if you decide to contest, what are your chances?
I've just told Metro TV that if it is not rigged and it's fair, then our chances are fairly reasonable, yeah, in terms of success. Yes, absolutely. If the organization decides that I should stand, and we do, then of course we have every chance to win.
Do you have the
if it is fair and not rigged.
Do you have the backing of the former president, Rollins?
I have a very respectful and civil relationship with the president. We respect each other, and I believe we respect each other's choices. I will certainly inform him if the organization decides.
I hear he's pushing you to contest.
Really? I'm not aware of it. I'm not aware of it. I'm not aware of it.
But do you think he's going to give you your support? He's going to give...
I think what I'm interested in is the support of the grassroots of the party and those who stand in tune with the desire and passion of the grassroots to see a transformed NDC. And I believe that he's always been a grassroots person. And I hope that indeed not only will we get his support, but we'll get the support of the entirety of the NDC to make this change that is so inevitable, so necessary, and must happen, not only for NDC's well-being, for the well-being of Ghana.